So I'm going to do a little quick video here, just a response to something that was mentioned in a previous video. This goes out to pertaining to roads. Okay, so you'll see people go to shows, you'll see people out and whatever, and it's become a regular thing, right? And what they call the rock horns. Okay, but this is the thing. People do a number of different things that they don't always do this. Okay, so what they do is some people do this, which is Hawaiian for hang loose. This literally means like when you're surfing and you got to let your body weight kind of hang and sail with the board. Don't plant yourself, right? Hang loose. Okay, then a lot of other people do this. Okay, and this or this is American Sign Language for I love you. And people will do this. They'll do this I love you at their band, or they'll do this because they're afraid of doing this. Okay, so but then here's the thing. This is what this actually has to do with. Okay, this is a ward against the evil eye. If there is somebody that you feel is bringing something negative towards you, you can use that to ward. Now the second thing is if this ward does not work or it further brings in something negative, there is another thing that can be done. And what you do is you put together a prayer of some sort, or if you're into occult or magic, you put together what you could call a Banish Ritual or some kind of a small prayer incantation. And what you do is you face where the negativity is coming from, what you feel might be spying, oppressing, or whatever. And if this doesn't work, then what you do is you formulate your prayer, and as you're formulating your prayer, you do this. You see how you're breaking it apart, splitting it right through the head. That works. So, most of the time, if you get into the metal scene and you talk to the people that will at their shows, there is nothing evil and nothing satanic about any of those people. Oftentimes, they are in fact Christians, and the metal community is a large brotherhood. And we've gone so far as to, we've had shows where we've done one thing we would call too much rock for one hand, where somebody would stand here and do this up at the crowd, and then somebody else will come in, and so you have like 3 or 4 people with their hands together, and then one dude on the end like this, and the other dude on the end, and you have like 5 people making one. I can tell you from years and years of experience that there is absolutely nothing satanic about that. What is satanic is this on the left eye. What is satanic is a pentagram where the top point points downward. What is satanic is praising and worshiping Baphomet or Lucifer or Moloch or what, Tammuz or Set or any of them, right? And generally speaking, their uses of symbolism and hand gestures will be more like imitating Christ. So if you had somebody who was doing something evil while at the same time being like this at someone, right? Especially with the left hand. Now, the left hand can be useful in magic sense, but as far as with somebody is, you're talking about Satan versus whatever, you see pictures of Jesus with the Sacred Heart, and he's doing this, and it's like blessing. He's flicking incense or holy water with his fingers, basically. Or any of the other things that the vile evil type characters do, whether this is harming children, whether this is creation for no benefit of anyone, no purpose other than to simply create something for the sake of creating. As I've said before, when it comes to the Thelema, Golden Dawn, some tarot interpretation, that is the representation of what they would call the devil, is excessive creation for no purpose. This would be like abomination, basically. So, in that, you will find historically over the years, gypsies, lots of, there's some old, some of the angel names I've looked up in my research over the years, they had what they called kamea, which are, I think, like a cameo, like a little carved image. I don't have my my knight ring here, but I do have the one that is the golden tiger's eye that has a knight's head engraved in it. It's kind of a cameo. Kamea is something similar that you would basically take a 3-letter angel name as a guardian angel of protection, and you would wear it on an amulet or pendant that would then, you would pray on it, like a medicine bag or whatever. You hold it, you pray it, and you would pray for, relief from oppression or to ward off the evil eye. So it's basically wearing a 3-letter Hebrew letter angel name on an amulet for protection is the same thing as doing this. No, that's not really a Satan thing. If you read into the Revelation and books in the Old Testament like Ezekiel or Daniel, what you'll get is that while the goat comes from the scapegoat sacrifice in, like, what is that, Exodus, where they would literally burden an actual goat with letters and prayers and concerns, and then they would send it off into the woods with a cut on its side so that it would die in the wild, and it would be eaten, and it would become a sacrifice to a spirit of the wild known as Azazel. People think Azazel is a fallen angel or a demon. No. Azazel is kind of a wild god, spirit of the woods kind of thing. And before anybody gets into only one God, remember, even the first commandment of the 10 Commandments says, have no gods before me. So the goat imagery comes from that, and everything else from that is that people be like, oh, that goat's weird. The eyes are kind of, I don't know what the slot, goats are really nice. But they look weird. So superstitious people. You get into the apocalyptic, prophetic, end times, or just any actual description. Anyone who has ever encountered Satan, Lucifer, the devil, anything in that sense, in the Judeo-Christian sense, has either encountered a person, no wings, no horns, or it has been described as an angel, the most beautiful, having fallen from heaven for transgression of some sort. Differs slightly depending on which book you read. In basically every description of this character, Lucifer, the devil, Satan, is described as being the one with the little horn. This would be one who has a single deformed imp horn. And it's just little, it would be a little tiny horn. Or it would be a little, this spot in his forehead with a little goat ram curl. The little horn, right? You see pictures, what was that, the movie Legend, was that with Tom Cruise, where he had to fight the devil at the end or something? There was a couple other ones that I've seen where there's, they end up with the big bodybuilder dude in the red makeup, and he's got these giant ox horns coming out. Nowhere in any canonical, any actual scriptural reference is Satan the dude with red skin who lives in a volcano in the center of the earth with a trident and enormous ox horns or goat horns. And Baphomet, often depicted as a devil-like creature, used as a symbol to worship in the official Church of Satan, which does not believe in any of the things that they claim to believe in. That Baphomet statue with the kids is meant to piss people off that are pushing for somebody else's religion's rules to be posted in public places. It's just a point. Well, if you can put that, then I can put this, right? That's literally all it is. Now, if this is the side that you agree on and you think this is abhorrent, then yeah, I get you wouldn't like it, right? But these people's thing is freedom, and what they find abhorrent is to take a religious icon and put it in a public space when the law says the government won't endorse a religion. See? So the reality is the actual Church of Satan does not worship Satan. The people that do the real work of the devil, as it were, are not typically affiliated with the religion. If they are, they're usually affiliated with one of the more positive organized religions, for example, Christianity. I'm not saying Christians are bad. I'm saying a lot of people that do the devil's work claim to be Christians. And you get into your book of Revelation, you start talking about that a bit. Although I believe in the Gospels, when Jesus was asked about end times, he made some references to Ezekiel and Daniel. And Ezekiel and Daniel make references to things that also are referenced in the Revelation that are talking about things like Mark of the Beast, Antichrist, occult, right? And the great deception, the deceiver and the deception, right? And we're looking at that happening right now. And nowhere in any of this situation is there a cat with horns. And I don't mean cat like meow, I mean like a dude. There is no dude with horns. Right? So it could be that this represents the goat, the scapegoat, But like I said, the other thing is basically is that you could say it is that if a cat walked up to you and it did this, it would think it was eyes on stalks for a second. If something else of this size. So what you're basically doing is saying this is my defense llama, because if you think about it, that looks like a llama. But no, that's not. That has never actually been a satanic anything. The people that have brought that up, they don't understand it. That's all I got. Over the years that claim has been made, it's mostly been, we don't like this underground culture, subculture of music scene. We think that what you're doing is wrong and evil. We don't understand it. That's basically what that comes to. But nowhere in the Bible does they actually refer to the devil as a guy with giant horns, and nowhere in any satanic literature is this made out to be the satanic horns. That somebody said that was what it was and it stuck. But the reality is that this, in occult and magic, this is a ward against evil. That if somebody is trying to jinx you or do something to prevent you from succeeding, that you put your aura out and you pray hard and you push this like flashlights or whatever. And if you find the source of it and you wish to break that spell, you come up with some kind of a prayer, like I said, or incantation to break that spell, and then you go, and that is the break. But like I said, it all stems from, people in the music scene have been doing this and nobody knows what to do. So like, well, my grandma said this, or this is Satan. So, I love you, or hang loose, people want to get into the scene. They want to be, and yeah, I mean, technically speaking, if you're cheering on a person who is performing, you could conceivably be not giving enough glory to God. I would say personally, the only time that would be an issue on an individual's basis would be if you were actually at a praise and worship concert, because you need to know about the behind the scenes Christian music industry to understand why that would be the place. And like I said, oftentimes people do the devil's work under the guise of Christianity too. So anyways, 12 minutes, that's a bit more than I expected. Please trust me. Years, decades in fact, of studies into magic and the occult. And I've met some truly evil people. I've met people that I could say qualify as maybe that was a devil's vessel. But in no way, shape, or form, no circumstance have I ever found any reason, evidence, or actual theory to believe besides it has horns, devil has horns, that this is a sign of evil. It is a ward against evil. And to tell people to stop doing the ward against evil actually invites evil. So, do what you want, don't do what you want, it's all good. But, if you're showing guy on the video and guy walks by and goes like this and he's just like rock on, but the reality is that he is also simultaneously warding against the evil eye on his image as projected onto YouTube. See? So, if he'd done something different, if he, flipped birds or, did a disgusting gesture, that would be far more offensive, I would say, than a potential, solidarity, what's up, bro, ward against the evil eye, something that also comports to hang loose, I love you, evil be gone. So, that's what I got. I'm going to start this uploading. We'll see how long this takes to do. I was going to do breaks today, but it's raining. My squealers came on yesterday. I have pads. I just need a place to do them in dry weather. So we're going to see what it looks like tomorrow. I have the next today through Thursday off. I will get my breaks done before I go back to work. So everybody have a good afternoon. Enjoy the lovely, gloomy weather.